Welcome, everyone. Today's segment is a special one. I'm joined by someone who has helped shape the future of digital payments in Europe. Wojtek Zatorski is the founder of Blik, one of Europe's most successful payment platforms, and now the founder of Gatenox, a next-gen compliance and KYC infrastructure platform. I'm excited to share that Zebec is acquiring Gatenox and that Wojtek is officially joining Zebec as an advisor. Let's get into why this matters and how it positions Zebec to own the full compliance stack as they scale. Wojtek, welcome.
Hello.
Let's start by talking about Blik.
Sure.
What was the vision when you started the company, and also how did it scale into such a major player when it came to payments?
So when we were starting with Blik, the vision was to build a first mobile payment system that would scale on a national level. So the key in building it was to get the traction from the start. And to do that, obviously in payments, you've got two sides of the equation. You need to have customers that are using the application or the payment system, and you need to have places where they can use it. So the main challenge here was actually to build the acceptance network. The story was quite interesting because the six largest Polish banks came together. We managed to get six banks as a sort of joint venture. And they implemented Blik straight from the beginning into their banking application. So that gave us about 70% of Polish population access to Blik right from the start. And we were able also to convince major acceptance networks like POS providers and also ATM providers to join the network. So right from the start, it was available pretty much to everyone and in most places. And that sort of gave Blik the power to go on and go on.
Yeah.
The other thing was Polish people, I suppose, didn't like using cards. They weren't trusting that you put the number, your card number, into the e-commerce place, and you don't know what's going to happen with it. So Blik offered this additional security and ease of use. From UX perspective, it's been just copying 6 digits into the payment gateway, and that was it. So ease of use and the fact that it was available to everyone, I think were the two major things that allowed Blik to scale that far. Now the Blik is used by pretty much everyone in Poland. So from the latest stats that I've seen, we've got about 20 million people using it in 33 million country. That gives a huge number. Using it, meaning on a daily basis.
Yeah.
These are active users, and nearly 3 billion of transactions in a year.
That's incredible. And it can't have been an easy feat to bring those 6 major banks together. That's
Oh yeah. You can imagine that 6 major banks, each of them has their own sort of approach, and negotiating with them the way that whole protocol is going to work and the security of it was a major undertaking.
Yeah. Though you can see the benefit in aligning so many organizations around a single problem that exists and actually bring people together, and how that, as you've shown, can really propel a product forward. And I guess that's something that I guess a lot of people could learn from in the crypto Web3 space.
Absolutely. So, the ecosystem is the key here. Build ecosystem, build perfect UX experience, and bring the major players behind. And that's probably the recipe for the success.
So after all of that success with Blik and setting that up, etc., what problem did you then want to solve when it came to the launch of Gatenox?
So very quickly, I realized that you know payments are not the only problem in the financial sort of transactional space. The KYC and KYB, meaning for the businesses,
Hmm.
is a major problem, especially with KYB, where you've got to fill out the same forms over and over again for the company. It's a process that it's I don't know how old, but
Hmm.
you've got digitized economy, and the process is still sort of from the times when steam machines were built. So that creates a lot of friction, and especially in the crypto space, we've been building Gatenox from a start to address crypto needs, where the speed of onboarding matters.
Hmm.
Because if it takes you 3 weeks, and this is 3 to 6 weeks is a pretty quick for standard organization onboarding with KYB process, then everything has changed in the crypto. You
Yeah.
might not want to perform the transaction anymore. So we've been seeing a huge drop off from customers just because of the onboarding process.
Yeah.
So with Gatenox, we focused on really solving the problem of ease. Again, UX is a king. So ease of onboarding. You've got plenty of data that are available in public registries and everywhere. Why do you force customer to fill out those forms if you can obtain this data automatically? So Gatenox addresses both sort of, again, sides of the equation. On one side, you need to allow customers to onboard nicely and quickly with no hassle, almost.
Hmm.
It's always hassle.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, you need to provide tools for the compliance officers to also be able to review those onboardings quickly and to make a decision of the risk of that customer may possess to the ecosystem.
Amazing. And I guess this focus on UX, UI for the consumer and for the business is really become like your expertise in terms of building systems around those user experiences.
Yeah, I think I learned it quickly that without UX, you're not gonna attract users. So the product might not have everything great, but if you screw up UX,
Hmm.
you create a friction for the user, and that limits your ability to scale.
Yeah. And you're absolutely right in terms of like onboarding as the bottleneck in the space.
It's a hustle.
Yeah. And the pace in which crypto moves to then have to apply in old fashioned terms for anything is just, it feels like a nonsense when everything else can be so instant.
It's absolute nonsense.
Yeah.
When you open a corporate account in a bank, it may take you three months to get approved. So, I mean, nowadays 3 months.
Yeah. It's a lifetime.
Yeah.
Great. So, what exactly then does Gatenox do, and how does that compare to its competitors, for example?
Okay. So, as I said, we focus in building Gatenox to focus on Web3,
Hmm.
which has different experience, different expectations, and as we already talked about, the former processes of going through KYC, KYB are absolutely no fit for this ecosystem. Um, so this is the major thing. We build it from a scratch with the focus on Web3.
Hmm.
The other thing is that we've built a system that addresses the needs of both customers and compliance officers to have one sort of consistent way to quickly go and to control the speed of how quickly you can go through the process, helping both compliance officers and the users in going through this. And also, we did focus on KYB. So KYC, it's obviously a part of it,
Hmm.
individual KYC, I mean.
Hmm.
But KYB I believe, is much more complex process because you can have the whole tree of companies covered underneath the one that you're onboarding. So that requires a different approach, much more going down the tree and scanning all those entities below.
Great. And so then why Zebec? Why do you think it's important that Zebec has brought Gatenox into its ecosystem now?
I think it's a perfect fit. Zebec focuses on building the ecosystem and building their own rails for the financial transactions. And, I think it's, as we talked about Blick, Zebec has built something of a similar approach. So they brought payroll into the ecosystem, but then if you bring payroll, you need to address the other side, hence the card, so people can spend money that they receive from their employers. So again, Zebec is focusing on programmable money. Gatenox has been focusing on programmable trust. So this is, in my opinion, perfect trust, and I'm happy that Zebec feels the same way.
Yeah, that's a really interesting way of looking at it, actually. It's super important that if Zebec, the ecosystem that Zebec is building, is bringing businesses and consumers together to manage their money in ways that they've never been able to before, that there is this layer of trust in terms of KYC, KYB. Do we know who we're dealing with? Do we know that there's no fraudulent things happening here, etc.? And when that all comes together, we can move forward very quickly. And to be able to do that at scale and with speed, I think is so important.
Absolutely, and you need to remember that as bigger Zebec grows, as more compliance pressure they're gonna get. So all the regulators are gonna be interested in to what extent the network is able to comply with all the regulations. So the trust in the network is quite a key, and there is no point really in such ecosystem that you require customers to go through those processes over and over again. It's enough if they go once and they can reuse the identity over and over again in the ecosystem.
So, Wojtek, you're joining as an advisor, and Zebec is acquiring Gatenox. Super exciting. What do you think that now does in terms of like unlocks for Zebec?
Well, I think the experience that we bring to the table is on the compliance side, obviously, but also I think what I'm going to be able to bring to the table is my experience with the card businesses. We didn't mention it in the interview previously, but besides building Blick, I have built previously a card transaction business, card transaction processing business, later acquired by MasterCard, that actually has been able to take over quite a lot of transactions on Polish market as well. So I think I will be bringing the mix of experiences from infrastructure perspective, from security perspective, from compliance perspective, and obviously I might be slightly older than most of the people in crypto. So I do have behind me, what is it going to be? Probably nearly 30 years of experience in financial industry.
Yeah, that's incredible. And also being able to weave in that really like laser focus on the UX and UI that people are experiencing with the Zebec platform. I'm sure there's a lot of value you'll be able to add from that perspective.
Hopefully. Although I think Zebec is doing quite well here.
Yeah.
The entire crypto industry definitely needs more focus on the UX to attract more and more people. At current stage, you need to have a lot of knowledge, a lot of patience to go through those processes. So yes, that's still quite a long way for the crypto industry to become sort of embedded into lives of regular people.
And you're excited to get going, no doubt.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, so look, final question for you, and this is a little bit out there, but I want to take the opportunity to ask you, given your experience, about what you think the future of financial payments and compliance looks like in the next 3 to 5 years with the emergence of like AI and just the kind of the general pace at which we're moving from a crypto perspective.
Yeah, right. So you hit the point. 3 to 5 years is like a century.
Yeah, no doubt.
It looks like, especially with the pace that AI is moving right now. But the key thing is going to be building the trust layer into the ecosystem. The current approach to it, I mean, from the regular financial system, is not going to cut it. And there is no point in going the same route. This has to be sort of rethought and redesigned, and this is what we've been trying to do in Gatenox. And with the layer that Zebec has built, I think we can move it much farther, and have trust built into the network from a startup. And then on the point of AI, I think that's gonna change that much that the processes that we're going through right now are not gonna be efficient, and it's not gonna stand too much longer, especially from a perspective of KYC. With the rise of AI, you can imagine how easy nowadays is to go through the KYC process with all fake data.
Sure.
Generated face, generated ID, everything fake. You can go through the entire KYC process, no problem.
You could effectively create a new person.
Absolutely. So the one thing that actually is happening, especially within Europe, is many countries already sort of noticed this, and they're building EID solutions, and these solutions are actually built based on government IDs, and they're being used on a par with your regular ID, photo ID.
Got you.
So that gives you also, much, again, better UX, especially for the people who don't carry wallets with them anymore. So, going through KYC, if you don't have wallet, requires you to go back home, grab your ID, and go through KYC. So I've already noticed that, Poland is unique in many cases in digitalization of those processes, because Polish people didn't have to go through the whole process of checks and everything. They sort of, after the fall of communism, quickly moved from old processes that were non really existent back in communist days to fully digitized world. So in Poland, I see right now that EID is rising very quickly.
Okay.
You can use it to register for any of the government systems, pay your taxes, sign your documents digitally, and this is opportunity for the trust network within crypto environment to tie into those systems and utilize better onboarding, quicker, and storing those credentials within the network and reusing them in the future. And on the KYB front, there is no reason to do the manual research and look for all the data of the companies. With LLMs getting better and better in sort of going through vast amounts of data.
All that data's out there already, right?
The data is out there. You can go through this. You can create risk scores of the specific company. You can create the whole network of, what connects to those companies. Basically, you can analyze the data much better than any human being is capable of.
Yeah, really interesting. And so you think then that KYC, KYB, as we know it, completely transforms in the next 5 years?
Definitely. It can't survive in the current form.
Yeah, fascinating. I think it's great that you're at the helm of that. I think Zebec have got a really, really sound advisor in terms of your experience.
Thank you.
I want to thank you for coming here and joining me today. It's been really great to get to know you, to understand your experience a bit more, and I wish you and Zebec all the best when it comes to your upcoming ventures.
Thanks, Ben. It was great talking to you.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.